The ultimate setup for a stealthy and high damage per minute tier 8 tank destroyer Kanonenjagdpanzer is a build that further amplifies its concealment as well as damage per minute. For equipment, I'm using advanced loader for DPM, advanced concealment, and advanced optics to improve my ability to outspot opponent. For consumables, using enhanced repair kit and enhanced medkit for survivability, and using enhanced rations to improve my DPM as well as view range and concealment. For my skills, I'm using Bond Leader, which is similar to food but doesn't have any active benefit. It does 10% benefit to crew efficiency. And using rapid loading and steady aim to improve the gun, silent driving, and advanced concealment or camouflage expertise to improve the camo, stationary as well as on the move. Sixth Sense, situational awareness for view range, run and gun to improve accuracy on the move, and then muffled shot to further help with the concealment. So now let's take this tank to the battlefield. I'm in Live Oak, so going straight towards the sniping position. Most of you might prefer the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105, which has the bigger gun, and might wonder why even play this tank. Well, of course, in current meta, that a higher alpha is the better option, but that doesn't mean that this tank is inferior, because you do lose the alpha, but you do gain improved accuracy, improved accuracy during turret rotation, and improve accuracy during movement. And that's why I'm not even running snapshot, and I'm using that skill slot to use muffled shot, so I stay unspotted even longer. And this tank has a higher base DPM of 700, and when it is fully equipped, the base DPM difference is about 1000. So yeah, you don't have that 420 juicy alpha, but you do have that ultimate gun that keeps singing. It does have less penetration as well, and the shells are a little bit cheaper because you only have 240 alpha. So if you're a newer player, the 105 is the better option. And as I said, right, in most scenario, 105 will be better because it has better alpha and you trade better. But even this tank is enjoyable. I would still rate 105 higher than this one, but as I said, the tank does have concealment and rate of fire, so it can do what it's supposed to do as long as it can pen those shots, because that low pen will be a constraint, especially when you're fighting tier 10s, especially when they're moving heavily armored targets. But as I said, if you're skilled enough, you will find that a little bit challenging. And as I said, the tank can do what it's supposed to do. If you have their sides, oh, the juicy DPM will come in handy, and you will shred the enemies in no time. The tank has same hit points, the mobility, slightly better power to weight than the 105 version. And that's the basic, right? If you have bigger gun, you will have worse gun handling, and you might be a little bit slower. If you're smaller gun, you will have better gun handling. Of course, you will have low alpha and penetration. So that's the trade-off. Both options are nice. If it's up to me, maybe this tank could have 280 alpha, because a lot of other tanks have been buffed for a higher alpha, and I think 280 would still be solid, because the Kanonenjagdpanzer 105 did get an alpha buff from 390 to 420, if I'm not mistaken, with the Leopard. So this tank can also use some love, because every other stat is the same. So now coming back to the battle, got some early shots and use that stealth to freely navigate the battlefield. I knew where the tanks were. I know no one can outspot me, and I put a bush in between. Not that FP would spot me either. The other tank over on the 1-2 line, they won't have line of sight on me, as I was under, and got some extra damage. 1100 damage, just shredding. And what do we have here, boys? A machine. Where are you, Sir Machine? You seem a little bit lost. Not to worry, I will help you find your way back to garage. Find he's reacting at a beautiful shot. I think it was my team's 1-in-3 gun. Still not spotted, and that machine is done. 9v9, and as you can see, I am bottom tier. But by that no means I'm not useless. There's some of the tier 8s, as I said, tier 8s have rough life, especially the heavies, because you're never undetected. You're always spotted, you're getting punished, you're slow, but once you get that concealment, the tank destroyer have much easier life. And you can put that DPM to use, as we did in case of machine, bringing my total to 22. The tank does go 70. So if you are someone who loves mobility, you can put traction as well, but I think 70 at tier 8 is enough for in terms of speed. However, if you are someone who loves speed, crucial. He might put traction and advanced powertrain at the same time, but I would not recommend it. It's not needed, right? But again, it's your personal style. Now, went back to the zero line and trying to find an opening or so that I can farm them as they're coming. We do know there are two tanks. There was an E4 as well as Sturv K, both very strong tanks. I notice my FP is on the left side, so I'm going right. So we have different angles, and as I said, no one's gonna outspot me. No one, especially when I'm stationary. The only tank is, maybe a Vanguard will. But in this match, no one will spot me. E4, nah, he's not spotting me. Sturv K. Good luck. However, I can get spotted if I fire, if someone is close. So there's the Sturv K. I'm not in a good position, 360 meters, so I knew I would get spotted. That was a bad peek because I didn't even kill him. And I'm still being targeted, and what I believe is an E4, he's on the A line, so I have to be more careful. I got lucky there because one shot from E4 hitting you for 850, setting you on fire, and boom. And that's one of the weaknesses of tier tank destroyer is the HP and lack of armor, which make them somewhat balanced because you have the mobility and concealment. But that does mean you have to be very careful to never contest tier 10 or a high alpha TD or even a heavy tank, because there are chances that the high module damage will also set you on fire. So always create distance, wait for them to fire, and then trade off. Our FP take out Sturv and artillery splashed E4, racking up some additional assist damage. I know where that E4 is, and just using that concealment circuit to outmaneuver or just stay outside where he can't spot me. I'll go to the mid hill and we'll farm that E4. We are winning by 1. Another thing about this tank is it does have HEP or hash for the third round. The 105 has HE, this one has a 102, so you can get that 320 alpha when fighting 4005, artillery, or even light tank, as long as you can hit those or pen those shots. E4 got unspotted, but I know exactly where he was. Bam! 1. And there's number 2. Back to garage. The assassin. Rotating towards the other tank. Other side, I do remember VZ51. That's where he was playing. I think he was moving forward, and then he decided to retreat back when Sturv K died. And as you can see, 390 meters, I was able to spot him. He's going to lose the spot pretty soon because I don't have the greatest view range, but muffled shot coming in handy, helping me farm that tank without getting spotted. They killed our SFAC. Oh, another beautiful tank actually. Overpowered, to say the least, with that high alpha. 3200 damage, 1400 assisted, going towards the water because I know where FP is. And even if Sturv, he plays that ridge over on the right, I just have to maintain enough distance where he doesn't spot me. And I know if he does get spotted, he'll think I'm coming from the other side, because that's what I was thinking, and that's what exactly happened here. I do spot him. He's thinking I'm coming from the one lane because I was never spotted, so he has no idea where I'm coming from. So he goes down, and for my next target, we are gonna find the artillery. Have my hash shells ready. 4005 is on the left side. I ignored 4005 because he was one shot. Didn't want to waste my energy on it. And tier 10 artillery, a lot of HP. 1430 on the move. Bang, 342. Nice roll, but still would take me a while. 286, a low roll on HE, but still better than a 240 alpha. 308. You know, whenever I fire HE, I feel I low roll more than a high roll. 37 is the low roll, and then 187. And at this point, I felt I should have loaded more HE because the alpha is low, and 320 alpha, as I said, I had spent 5 rounds just shooting at artillery. So after this game, I increased my hash to 10, improved my PCR as well, or like reduced the heat, because I don't think I'd fire heat much because the PCR has better shell velocity. Nonetheless, FE goes down, and the last tank remaining is Borsig. So nonetheless, we have this tank. Are you looking forward to get this tank for free with an upcoming season stage 100 reward? And also, boys, if you're not in a regiment yet, make sure to check out our community regiment, Loki hyphen, link in description, and also community Discord, so you can stay up to date with the new setup and builds and ask any questions. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.